Well, hello. Welcome back, garden friends. I've got a great little video for you today. I'm going to take you on a spring tour through our greenhouse. It's the end of April. We've been getting quite a bit of work done with the students that we've had come back. I'm so thankful for our students coming back. We've got quite a bit done, and I want to show you what it looks like inside the greenhouse. It looked a little wild before. We've got quite a bit of work done and getting cleaned up, organized, but we've actually been propagating like crazy. We've also actually planted, right? You can't see it yet, but I'll show you in a moment. We got 3 special plants, or these pots of plants, planted on the patio here that I've been wanting to grow for a long time. So at the end of the video, we'll do a reveal on what those plants are, and I'll show you them, and they're growing and taking off quickly, which I'm really happy for. But before we do that, let's take a look inside the greenhouse so you can take a peek at what we got going on. So as you may have already noticed, our greenhouse doesn't have plastics all the way to the ground. We don't have an air conditioning unit in here or any kind of environmental controls. When the plastics were all the way to the ground, it would get about 130 degrees in there Fahrenheit in the summer. And then even in the winter, it would get nice and warm for some of our plants, but there'd be no airflow. And we didn't want to spend the money and all the effort putting in a traditional environmental control systems, you know, heaters and coolers and fans and things. So we went the cheap route, and we cut that plastic off, and we replaced it with just some wire, little fencing here, and it kind of does a trick, so it's not totally open in here. But what's nice is it allows a lot of airflow, and since we've done this a couple years ago, it actually maintains a perfect temperature, or close to perfect temperature for most of our plants. For instance, like I said, in the winter it stays just warm enough to where our tropicals are unaffected for the most part, and then in the summer with that airflow, it keeps it in here cool enough that I can actually keep plants alive in here in the summer. Whereas in the past, if I had plants trying to live here over the summer, they would be roasted by the end of the summer in the greenhouse because of the lack of air movement and the heat that was generated. It would just be too hot. It was, like I said, and when it was 105 outside or 100 degrees outside, inside here was like 130 or more. Sometimes we had the thermometer in here, and so it could get real hot, or close to it. It was, I mean, it would just get ripping hot. It was, you know, way too hot for the plants. But you can see, here's some plants that we've actually planted last year. Hey, the kids made these boxes. They need a little bit of love and with some weeding. Still needs to be some clover in there. We might even pull them out and just replant these entirely. But we'll see. Some of them look a little better than others. We sell these, and then we use some of the larger ones as mother plants for our giveaways and our plant sales and such. You can see we've got some whole hearth here. So there's a lot of open real estate in here. Normally, we might even fill all these racks up, but we got a little space. Here's some cuttings we took that were actually, these were growing on the cement and the floor, on the pavement here. You see we don't have a very fancy floor. It's just whatever asphalt was here. We're on the side of a building, and basically this greenhouse just got plunked down right here. So you know, like I said, there's a number of ways in which it's not a traditional style greenhouse, but for what we're doing, it's actually working really well and doesn't require us to spend a lot of money running, you know, maintaining and running was it air conditioning unit and heaters and such and fans, because that would make it nicer, obviously, you know. But we got some cuttings right here, a lot of succulents, a lot of cacti cuttings in here. Look at these ones trailing down, just gorgeous. So we got growing, they're nice and long. Look at that. And here we got some thornless berries that we'd purchased, and now we're about ready to plant these out in the orchard along our fence. It's gonna be great. You can see all the cuttings in here. I hope you're able to get a good view of how the greenhouse looks. I know I've been talking over a lot of it, but you can see these are all cuttings we had just planted these last few weeks. We'll get these going in our plant sales. If students want to take some home to grow, they're very welcome to. Like here, we got some pineapples. These were all taken as cuttings from the tops of some pineapples that were sliced up and eaten. And so we just, as proof of concept, got them growing, and they're taking off. Here's some spider plants. Obviously, anybody's ever grown plants or house plants and such, they know a good spider plant, and they're very popular in a way where you see them a lot, but they're just easy to grow, and they look fine. They look good. I know there's a lot of houseplant snobs who are like, oh, I'm not into them, I'm too good for them. They're cool. They're cool. Spider plants are still cool. You know, and you can stick with your string of hearts elsewhere. We got a place for all plants here. Look at that. Look at a string of bananas. Makes me want to have some breakfast. But even these little guys we had as cuttings are doing quite well. So here, before I take up too much more of your time, oh, look at these big fat ones I took as cuttings. Yeah, these were all cuttings that we had these were all taken off of our garden shed. So we have a vertical garden walls of succulents. And so every one on this rack right here was taken as a cutting just a few weeks ago. And actually even more than that, all of these ones as well to my left that I'd already shown you. Those ones are all cuttings off of that wall out there, and I'll give you one last look of it. And we have videos on that on our wall. Oh yeah, here we go. We got a little totem cactus, our spineless cactus. It's all smooth, and I got a few of them. I think I got 2 in here, and I got several at home I'm working on. They're a little bit trickier, but here, let me end the video by showing you our special super secret thing we planted last week. Something I've been wanting to plant for years here, but just finally got around to it. Finally, you know, got the budget and the space and the plan for it. So these are actually, I don't know if you can see these that well in this light, but these are dragon fruit. And you can see I got that variety I think I got from Home Depot or whatever, and then a few others I got from our local nursery, Green Acres. And I know it's a little shady here, but it's a pretty cool cactus plant. It's like a rainforest style cactus where they do like water, but they like it to be fast draining soils. And so we'll have to do videos on just these alone, but you can see we've got them growing up these poles, and as they grow and grow and grow up these poles, we'll eventually install a square little rack on top, a little wood rack, square that they can go out, and then they'll hang down in that, and then and kind of dangle and then flower and fruit, which I cannot wait. So we have one that has red flesh, we've got one that has pink flesh, and I think we have some in there that have a white flesh, and maybe we'll get some other varieties as well. But yeah, looking pretty good here on the patio. It was so disorganized over the summer, but like I said, we got it cleaned up, looking really good. Just a few weeks back with the students, and we're just really getting after it. Here's the one side of the wall in the shade. You can see it's not doing too bad. We actually took a lot of cuttings off it recently. That's why it was looking a little more open than it had been. It's we took tons of cuttings from this side and many from the other side. And like I said, I'll probably do a video just to update this shed alone, because it kind of deserves its own. But here you go. Well, things are looking good here on the patio here at school. I miss all the other students who haven't come back yet, and I wish you guys all the best. To all the viewers out there, I wish you the very best, and I hope you're gardening strong, and you realize you don't need a big greenhouse like this to garden well. There's so many different solutions you can come to garden, grow, that it's up to you. All right, well, from our garden to yours, happy gardening, best wishes. Take care, y'all.